Are you a young guy looking for a new car that you can get really cheap, that you can drive it every day and say, this is my new car? Well, to be honest, you'll never really get the chance to buy a brand new car unless it was cheaper, because you might be someone that doesn't even have a job and the most you can save up is about $10,000, and that's it, the end. This here is a 2007 Toyota Altis. It's my mother's car and it's had a bunch of little things happen to it. She's the second owner and it cost her nearly the complete value of how much one of these is brand new. So a brand new one of these was about the same price as how much was paid for this one here. We spent about $18,000 on it, not including stamp duty. It was about, in total, $21,000 spent to buy this vehicle, when we could have just gone to the dealership and buy one for that exact price. To me, it wasn't really worth what was spent on this car to get it in the first place, but someone needed a new car and this is what we got. Now, to be honest, from this experience and from other experiences, what I believe is new cars that get sold once should depreciate by 30% for the owner, the first owner in the logbooks. Why is that? Because the owner who had this car had this for long enough that my parents only had a few months left of warranty to cover this car, and the only thing that was replaced in that time period was a rear tail light because it was fogging up. 30% depreciation would make it easier on us to come along and buy this car rather than have to come out of our pockets a lot more than what we can afford. Say we're only looking in the market for a $15,000 car. Say this car is on auction or for sale for $15,000, and then they go to change their mind when you win an auction and say you have to pay $18,000 because that's how much it's going to cost you. If you don't want it, go away. Like, that's not right. To be honest, if this was $21,000 brand new, and someone already purchased this car and drove it away from the dealership and then wanted to sell it, it should lose 30% of its value because someone was the first owner of this car, and the next person after them is going to have to own this car after whatever driving that this person's done, and because they got their name in the book first. So with this car, if it was $20,000, take about 30% off, that's about $4,000. It should have been about $16,000 in my eyes. If it was a $10,000 car, however, it's about $3,000 roughly. So that's the way I look at this. Now, I'm sorry my calculations aren't perfect, but that's close to what I mean. Like, this thing should have costed only $16,000 to purchase, because the stamp duty and all that on top costed a couple $1,000s, which to me seems a bit ridiculous, to be honest. I only spent $20 on my stamp duty on my car. Why is it so expensive on this car? Probably because of modern technology, probably because there's more things that could go wrong. I don't know, maybe even because it's a power pack under the hood of the car. It's not a V6, it's a 4-cylinder. It's front wheel drive, not rear. The only problem is, if this was a rule that applied to all new cars that had one person in the logbox currently and they were trying to sell their car, they'd probably feel like the next person was going to be greedy, sell the car and get their money back, plus extra. Well, to be honest, that is actually fair to me, because the first person has the choice to sell or keep their car instead of having to sell it. To me, it's fair for the next person after them to sell it and get their money back, because it's already had one person in the books, so it can't be a brand new car to the next person after that person. So that person owned it from brand new, so they deserve the right to sell this as a second-hand car or near new condition. Now, the previous owner might be greedy or get jealous because, hey, he's getting his money back, I can't get my money back. Well, here's the difference in scenario. With the next owner, they don't really necessarily get as much warranty, or the maximum warranty you get covered for your car. Sure, you might have logbooks, but you're also the first owner of this car, so who knows what kind of driving you've been doing with it. The next person doesn't know, the person after that doesn't know, other than being the third person in the logbooks or the second person in the logbooks. With this car in particular, I personally don't like it. And the reason being, it's got a sensitive throttle at the moment. In fact, it has a miss, so it's not fun to drive. It's got kind of crude seats in it. It's like rougher than some of the other seats I've seated in. I would have liked something a little bit softer for my back, because this thing makes me feel a bit yucky in the back when I drive it, and harsh. But other than that, it's got an okay body. It has roof racks. If you want to carry something on the roof, you can do that. It has plastic. So as a first owner of the car, as soon as your name goes into the book saying you're the first owner, it should lose 30% of its value. The only circumstances where you'll get all your money back is if something goes wrong on the car, or it's not the car you wanted, or you want to trade in with the dealership and they know the condition of this car. Then from there, the dealership can take your car and give you another one with the differential in cost coming from your pocket, rather than, you know, trade for trade, basically. So it's not necessarily a complete loss when you think about it that way. The next owner's going to have to pay the 30% less for the car, even if it came from the dealership, because the rules apply. It had one owner, it's only had one owner, and now it's lost its value by 30% because of that first person who's owned this car. It gives younger people a better chance of buying newer cars, even if they're second-hand, to this extent. This is a second-hand car, it was a government vehicle, it should have been 30% less in value and not sold for the full price that it was worth at the time. Because honestly, this was a new car with a few months left of warranty. And we had to pay for something that had no warranty, which the previous owner had paid for full warranty, and they got their money back. Which doesn't seem fair to me, to be honest, and that's what I mean. They got the warranty, they sold it at the end, and they got lots of their money back. And what do? We get the towel under the blanket. We're sitting at the table, our class is sitting on the table, we're having a nice drink, and that person comes along and pulls the towel out from underneath the table and says, "This is mine." And that's what I mean. If someone was to do that to me, I'd be pretty mad. This is a new car. It's no longer new. It's a very old car. I reckon she should get an SUV, because this car cannot do the things we need it to do anymore. And the reason I said that is because we have grandparents who live on a gravel track, and this car's not capable of tackling that gravel track anymore since it's been damaged recently. So it has to be repaired before this car can go on that premises. A car like this is only worth a few $1,000s, if not less. And this car here is more in my price range to own currently. Now, by bringing down the value of newer cars, you also could be doing something good for the environment, because if someone decides to trade this in and they just have enough in cash that they want to buy a new car, say it's $16,000, dealership will give them a couple $1,000s on this, like $2,400. It brings down the cost by $2,400. That brings it down to $13,600. If they had about $10,000 on hand, they could easily buy the car and be able to say, "Hey, I finally got a new car. This piece of crap which is ruining my pocket on fuel economy is going to be replaced by this new car, which is going to be more environmentally friendly as well as economical for me." To be honest, this isn't an uneconomical car. In fact, it's more economical than some newer cars out there. And the reason being is because now it has a replaced injector pump, and that injector pump on the other vehicle was able to produce 5.36 litres 100 kilometres, which to me is mind-boggling. It's basically a gallon and 50 miles to the gallon, something like that, even though those aren't the exact specifications for this vehicle. The exact specifications for this vehicle is 7 litres 100 kilometres, if not 9 litres 100 kilometres. This one was originally getting 10.5 litres 100 kilometres, and it had leaky seals, and I didn't know until later on that my seals were leaking. The pump sort of got rebuilt, but it was failed because something got destroyed internally by accident. So it's going to be repaired and it's going to work again in this car. But for now, I've got a 5.36 per 100 kilometers, and that might save me on fuel. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, not all new utes are that dirt cheap. This one here only cost me $600 with destroyed gearbox, but it also can carry 1.2 tons on the tray due to modifications the previous owners had done. Not to mention it has a 1.5 ton towing capacity, which is less than leading brands at the moment with their 3 to 5 ton towing capacities that they have the capability of at the tow bar. Not to mention the fact that this thing is in near perfect condition for its age. It has a vinyl wrap on it to stop the aging process on the paint, which has already happened. So the paint on this thing has actually aged and the clear's peeled off. That someone in their time that they had this car put the vinyl wrap on there to stop their age from showing anymore and to give it a new reform of paint. So it looks like it's painted, but it's not really, and it actually looks quite good for its age. And that's why I like this machine. The bull bar has been painted a glossy black, and there has been silver stripes painted on here to give it a more powerful seeming appearance. 2 inside lines opposed to 2 outside lines, and another 2 to match those corresponding lines. This thing looks like a beast, and it looks great for its age. It still needs work though. Not everything is perfect because these cars do age and they do show signs of aging. Like here, it has a bit of digging and denting, which has been repaired apparently with bog and putty. Under the hood looks well maintained. It has a nice shiny rocker cover. It has a nice pretty piece of the shroud for the radiator. Unfortunately, it's only 1/2 of the shroud. So it stops your fingers getting chopped off at least, because you're not likely to put your fingers there anymore. It has some crude pipe works. It has its turbo, it's water cooled, and it has a new injector pump sitting right there. It has been filtered and been looked after very, very well. And it looks like a great vehicle to have if it's an old vehicle and it runs well. This vehicle does run well, just needs a lot more work to make it perfect again. I'd say the worst thing about owning this vehicle hasn't been about the reliability factors, because the reliability on this vehicle is great. I don't have to worry about it breaking down everywhere, only in places I need it to break down when I'm actually working on it. When I'm suspecting something's going to break, that's when I try to deal with it. This car had an overheating issue which I wanted to take care of before it actually cooked something. It only got halfway with the temperature gauge, but I repaired it as soon as I possibly could. The problem with this vehicle hasn't been reliability, it's been the people who have legitimately been coming up to me and making offers to take this vehicle off my hands. To be honest, they're not getting this vehicle. I paid a lot for it, I've spent a lot on it, and you're never going to give me what I've spent on it, even though you want it. The best way to look at this vehicle is someone wants to take it from me and I don't want to give it to them, because I've spent money on it, I've worked on it, and to be honest, they know the value of this car, because a lot of people in the community apparently actually know this vehicle through the person who originally owned it, vinyl wrapped it, and destroyed the gearbox. So to see this car running on the road tells them that all the problems with this vehicle have been fixed. That's anyone who I meet in person who sees this car. I've had people from car dealerships offer me money. I've had people from the metro car parks offer me money for this. I've had people offering me money when I've been on a route to go somewhere and I've had to pull over for a break and someone sees me walk up to my car and they're like, I'll offer you this much for it. I've met people who I've been selling stuff to make repairs to my vehicle, and they've said, I'll give you this much for it. The most recent person who's been still calling me is the actual person that I sold a bike so I could make repairs to this, and he's only offered me $1,000 for it, whereas I asked him for $300 for my bike. He bought it off me for $300, and basically he wants to pay $1,000 for this, and I spent that $300 to repair this and put new belts on it. So in the end, if he took this off my hands, he'd have gotten a lot of his money back, because he would have made a bargain. He would have been able to take this, sell it for maybe $2,000 and made a bigger profit off of it. That's what his actual intention seems to be, because he knows this car very well, and so do the people he knows. I'm not selling this car because this car means a lot to me now, and not to mention it's been one of the most reliable vehicles I've ever met to this point in time. It's a 5-speed manual. It's got a 4D56T with a water-cooled turbo. Why should I sell this if I like it? Why should I let people tell me to sell it? I'm not going to sell it. It's not going nowhere. It's staying right where it is. It's going to look after my family. It's going to look after people I know that need its help. And it's going to keep going, and it's going to get a motor rebuild one day when I can afford it, because I respect this vehicle and I'm not selling it. Now, I should note that I actually did try to put this on Gumtree a couple of times to see what would happen. To be honest, no one will give me what I want for it. I put it on there for $5,000 before I spent exactly $5,000 on it to see if I get my money back that I've spent on it. And I've got the books, I've got the paperwork, I've got everything to say I've spent that much on this vehicle. And then I have the recent one I posted, which was about $7,000 to $10,000 on this vehicle, where no one even said boo, but they've looked at it. They haven't seen any pictures because I never posted any. But here's the thing, if people know this car and they see it's registered, they should be able to respect that this car is reliable, it's good, and people know this car very well. No, I will admit, I made it unreliable because I destroyed the injector pump, but now it will drive again. It just needs a fine tune, and then she's rolling off the road again. She needs a new set of rubbers at the front. The rear ones will need new rubbers eventually. But when I think about this car, opposed to a newer car, I think to myself, I'd rather spend $2,000 to get something like this than spend $14,000, $16,000, $21,000 to get something like that. What a piece of new garbage. It might be a new car, but it doesn't feel as good as this one, to me. So to summarise what we've exactly talked about, and basically what was meant by this whole entire video is, you could buy an Altis, near new, one owner, and it has to be 30% less in value than it would be to resell it to someone else brand new. So if it was $20,000 brand new, take 30% off, it's about $16,000. That means it's a little bit cheaper for the next person and the next person after that and after that, because it's a near new car, but it's not the first owner in the books. If it was the first owner in the books and you're the first one to drive it, it should be full price, because it is a new vehicle and it has a bunch of things about it that make it new. So if I told you to go buy an Altis, would you go and buy an Altis tomorrow? Or would you prefer to buy the Mitsubishi Triton for $2,000 and drive that for the economy of 5.36 kilometers per 100 kilometers, or maybe even the 10.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which it originally was sitting at? I don't know the mileage on it now, but I know the other car ran 5.36 liters 100 kilometers, and I'd say that this car could potentially do the same. The only major difference that might make it use more fuel is the fact that this has a LSD, whereas the other car did not have an LSD. So it might be controversial to say it actually is about maybe 7-8 liters 100 kilometers. Let me know what you think in the description below. Tell me I'm a babble mouth, tell me I'm wrong. But please know that you'd be making a difference by supporting the 30% less from the first owner in the books reselling their vehicle, because it will make someone's life a lot easier to buy their first new car or near new car, and make it a lot better for the community who can't afford to buy new cars. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please comment down below and let me know what you think of the video. Please like if you enjoyed it or found it very informative, and subscribe if you want to see more content. Thank you very much. I'm Michael the Mechanical. Catch you later.